Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to kick off today's presentation on data modeling. This is our first slide, the cover slide, so I just want to briefly introduce what we'll be exploring. We'll be diving into the fundamentals of data modeling, understanding its importance, and looking at some key concepts. So let's get started and see how effective data modeling can transform the way we handle information. Today, we're going to explore the different types of objects supported by Salesforce. There are several, including standard objects, custom objects, external objects, platform events, and big objects. But for now, we'll focus on the two most common types, standard and custom objects. Standard objects are those that come pre-built with Salesforce. You might be familiar with some of them, like account, contact, lead, and opportunity. These are essential for typical business processes and are ready to use right out of the box. Custom objects, on the other hand, are created by you to store information unique to your company or industry. For example, in our Dreamhouse scenario, D'Angelo wants to create a custom property object. This object will hold details about the homes his company is selling, something specific to their needs that standard objects might not cover. Now, remember that objects are more than just containers for data. They also provide special functionality. When you create a custom object, Salesforce automatically builds features like the page layout for the user interface. This makes it easier to manage and display your data effectively. Understanding these objects is fundamental because they form the backbone of how we organize and work with information in Salesforce. Whether standard or custom, each type helps us tailor the platform to fit our specific business needs. Let's take a closer look at the different types of fields you'll encounter. First up is the identity field. This is an 18-character, case-insensitive value that's automatically generated for every record. Think of it as a unique identifier for each record, and you can find this ID right in the URL of the record. It's important to note that records also have a 15-character, case-sensitive version of this ID, which can be useful for specific applications or integrations. Next, we have system fields. These are read-only fields that give you essential information about the record from the system itself. For example, they tell you when the record was created, who last modified it, and when these changes happened. Common system fields include created date, last modified by id, and last modified date. Moving on to the name field, every record needs a name so you can easily identify and differentiate between them. This could be a simple text name, like Julie Bean for a contact, or an auto-numbered name, like CA1024 for a support case. The auto-numbering automatically increments with each new record, making organization straightforward. Finally, there are custom fields. These are fields you create yourself on either standard or custom objects to store specific data relevant to your needs. For example, you might add a custom field on the contact object to store each contact's birthday. Understanding these different field types helps us manage and organize our data more effectively, which is key to leveraging the full power of the system. Now that you're comfortable with objects and fields, it's time to take things to the next level with object relationships. Object relationships are a special type of field that connects two objects together. Think about a standard object like account. If a sales rep opens an account, they've probably been talking to a few people at that company. They've likely made contacts like executives or IT managers and stored those contacts, information in Salesforce. It makes sense, then, that there should be a relationship between the account object and the contact object. And of course, there is. So, what are object relationships? Essentially, they define how different objects are connected, allowing us to see the bigger picture and understand how data points relate to each other. This is a key part of organizing and managing your data effectively, helping you build a more complete view of your business relationships. Let's talk about lookup relationships. Essentially, a lookup relationship links two objects together, allowing you to look up one object from related items on the other. Think of it as a way to connect data points so you can easily find related information. These relationships can be one-to-one or one-to-many. For example, the account-to-contact relationship is one-to-many because a single account can have many contacts associated with it. Now, moving on to master detail relationships. These are a bit more structured compared to lookup relationships. In this setup, one object is the master and the other is the detail. The master controls certain behaviors of the detail, such as who can view or modify the data. This tight control helps maintain data integrity and enforce relationships more strictly. There are two main types of object relationships, and understanding the difference between lookup and master detail is crucial as we build more complex data models. This knowledge helps us organize and control our data effectively, which is a key part of managing a scalable and reliable system. Let's take a closer look at the differences between master detail and lookup relationships. Starting with the definition, a master detail relationship is a strong parent-child connection, meaning the child record depends heavily on the parent. In contrast, a lookup relationship is more loosely coupled, giving more independence to the child record. Dependency is a key point here. In a master detail, the child is fully dependent on the parent. If the parent is deleted, the child is typically deleted too. With lookup relationships, the child can exist independently, which provides more flexibility. When it comes to record ownership, in a master detail, the child inherits the ownership of the parent, streamlining security and sharing settings. Conversely, in a lookup, the child has its own owner, allowing for separate access controls. Speaking of security, a master detail relationship inherits the parent's sharing and security settings, whereas lookup relationships have their own, giving you more granular control. Now, regarding required fields, in a master detail relationship, the child record is mandatory. It cannot exist without a parent. For lookup relationships, the link is optional, so the field can be left blank. This is important depending on your data model needs. When deleting records, a master detail uses cascade delete. Deleting the parent will automatically delete all associated children. In lookup relationships, deleting the parent does not affect the child unless you specify otherwise. Another point is roll-up summary fields. They are supported in master detail relationships, which allows you to aggregate data from child records easily. However, lookup relationships do not support this feature. In terms of limits, you can have a maximum of 2 master detail relationships per object, but you can have up to 40 lookup relationships, offering more flexibility for complex data models. Reparenting, or changing the parent of a child record, is not allowed by default in master detail, but can be enabled if needed. Meanwhile, in lookup relationships, reparenting is generally allowed, providing more adaptability. Finally, choosing between these relationships depends on your use case. Use master detail when records are tightly connected, like orders and order items. Use lookup when the relationship is more loose, like contacts and accounts. Understanding these differences helps you design your data model more effectively, aligning with your business requirements and security considerations. Now, let's take a closer look at the Schema Builder. This is a powerful visual tool that allows you to view and manage your entire data model in one centralized place. Essentially, it provides a graphical layout where you can see all your objects, fields, and the relationships between them. This visual overview makes understanding complex data structures much easier. One of the key advantages is that you can create custom objects and fields directly within the interface. No need to switch to different pages or tools. Plus, the drag-and-drop functionality makes designing and modifying your schema intuitive and straightforward. For example, you can quickly establish relationships like lookup or master detail, which are essential for defining how objects interact. Another helpful feature is that you can edit fields and object properties right from the schema view, saving you time and effort. And for a broader perspective, the zoomed-out view gives you a complete picture of your schema, which is especially useful for analyzing dependencies and understanding how everything fits together. Filtering options allow you to focus on specific objects or subsets, making navigation more efficient. Overall, the Schema Builder streamlines what used to be a complex process, enabling you to manage your data model more effectively and efficiently, saving you time and helping you maintain a clear understanding of your data relationships as your system grows. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. I really appreciate you being here. I hope the key points we've discussed have given you a clear understanding of the main concepts. Remember, the ideas we covered are all about driving change, fostering innovation, and working together to achieve our goals. Your engagement is what makes this all possible. If you have any questions or want to explore any topic further, please feel free to reach out. Once again, thank you for being part of this presentation. I look forward to collaborating with you in the future.